Recently, my wife pointed out a headboard that she really liked, but the colors didn't quite match our house, and honestly, neither did the price tag. So I took a mental note of it, gathered some materials, and I went home and built it for ourselves, and now I'm going to show you guys how we got this thing together. The materials that we used for this project were 4 1x6s, 1 2x6, 2 2x4s, some Minwax stain, and some Minwax polyacrylic. We also used a 1/4 inch sheet of plywood for the backing of the headboard. Since we built our existing bed frame, our headboard size is probably going to be a little bit different than yours, but to start off, we cut the 2x4s into 2 26-inch long pieces and then 2 60-inch long pieces. We used pocket hole screws and a little bit of wood glue to connect these 4 pieces together. This is going to give us the main box or the framing of the actual headboard. With that together, we can move on to creating the actual pattern inside the box. So the first cut we're going to make is a 45-degree angle. The only other angle we're going to do is actually a straight 0 degree. This first 45 that I just placed in there, I didn't even measure. I just went about 1 foot and then cut 45 on each end. We used 3 different widths for the actual pattern itself. This first one is the 1x6, so it's 5.5 inches in width. And then we placed all of those in first. After that, we measured in between, and these are our 0 degree cuts here. With all of our 5.5 inch wide boards in place, we move on to the next 2 sizes, which are 3.5 and 2.5 inch wide. There really is no rhyme or reason to the pattern that we went with. We kind of just placed boards in place and added more till we got the desired look that we wanted. With our pattern in place and everything where we wanted, we used pocket hole screws on the back side of each board to secure them to the frame of the headboard. Try to keep everything flat on your workbench when you're screwing everything in. That way when you flip it over, everything will be nice and flush. And I must say this pattern looks pretty sweet how it is, but we're going to add a few more little tricks. If you remember in the beginning, we had 1 2x6. We used that for the top rail. We just cut it 1.5 inches long on each side, so it ended up being 63 inches, and it gives it a nice look on the top. Then we went with our Minwax Early American stain. I really love this Minwax stain. It leaves it with a nice, rich, bold look. Just apply your stain to the entire surface, let it sit for a little while, and then wipe everything off with a nice dry rag. Because we used pine, this stain really makes this grain pop and also showcases all the knots, and that is the exact look that we are going for. Now, we're going to clear everything with Minwax polyacrylic. We go with a clear gloss on this. It's going to give a nice, shiny finish that will dry clear and stay clear for the entire lifespan. Because the stain color that we used is so similar to the walls in our house, we're going to add a black background to this, and this is going to give it a nice shadow box or 3D look to the headboard. And the final 2 pieces that we're going to add are some supports on the back side of the headboard. This just allows us to connect it to our existing bed frame that we already have. I must say this headboard turned out a lot better than I expected it to, and we only spent about $125, which was much less expensive than the one that we've seen in the stores. Oh, and I did add one final detail. I did add a couple dimmable LED lights inside the headboard because why not? As always, thank you guys so much, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all of our videos.